Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Gateway to Grace call. My name is Elizabeth Tobin. I'm a certified resonance repatterning practitioner, and this is our monthly resonance repatterning call. So today is November 1st, the day after Halloween, the Day of the Dead, All Saints Day. It's my great-grandfather's birthday. It's also my nephew's birthday, and I had a great niece who was going to be born today, but it's not going to happen today. so this is a potent time for healing and transformation, with the veil so thin. The ancestors are near. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do something around ancestral healing today. We shall see. I never know where the session is going to take us. And I'm willing to go wherever it does. Just allow the group energy, the group field to tell us what we need, with the intention of bringing everybody who's on the call live, people who have asked to be included in the session, proxied into the session as it's happening, but can't be on the call live, and people who watch the recording afterwards can all take part in this session, with the intention that this session brings everybody to a higher state of well-being, a higher state of coherence, a higher frequency pattern that supports all of us in moving into the next phase of whatever it is that we need to be doing, whether it's the next phase of our day. I do these on the first Monday of the month, so maybe the next phase, this next 30-day phase, or the next year, or just maybe, who knows, this could be the session that sets us up for the rest of our lives. I really think that each healing session that we do, in whatever modality you choose to do it, builds on all of the other sessions and creates this momentum and this support that helps us to move into the fullness of who we are in this lifetime. So thanks everybody for joining in. So I'm just gonna, let's just take a little pause, and then we will see where we're gonna go. So Aria says she has a request from someone to be included by proxy. That's quite okay. Yes, Sam can be included. And as I mentioned, there are a number of other people who asked to be proxied in, so that's fine. All are welcome. The hologram anticipates your participation. So let's just take a little pause. I just like to sort of create the space for the session. And oftentimes we move into our activities one right after the other, and just sometimes taking just maybe a 5-second pause in between activities can really help to keep us grounded, helps us to stay present and focused, and it's a great way to conserve your energy. So let's just take a little pause. I'm just going to ask you to just sort of feel yourself there. If you're sitting in your chair, just feel the chair supporting your back and your bottom. Feel your feet on the floor. If you're lying down, you can feel the bed or the couch or the floor, wherever you're lying on, supporting your body. Just bring your attention down into your feet. And energy flows where intention goes. So even just bringing your attention into your feet can help to ground you and to help you feel more present and relaxed. And connect with your breath. Just breathing in and out as deeply as you can. And just kind of bobble your head a little bit, sort of unlock the occiput. Just get some flow there. Maybe drop your chin a little bit. I think oftentimes we're kind of like going, the center of gravity pulls us up. Land in your body. Nice. Nice. Okay, great. So we'll see where we're going to go in the session today. So the first thing I'm going to do is just ask your permission to include you as part of the group field and ask your permission to be able to muscle check your system as part of the group field. And you can say yes, and that engages your free will. Very powerful, and sometimes often overlooked aspect of being human is we do have free will, and we are powerful creators here. And when we give our free will, engage our free will, we really step into the power that we have to be co-creators. So engaging our intention here and our will. So I'm just going to find out what the best way is to start the session today. So I see Cynthia says, yes, she wants to be included. Excellent. So there are different ways to start a session, and you can think of it as like different doorways to enter into, and different ways of sort of interacting with the group energy. And I'm just going to ask the group, like, what's the best way for us to do it today in this moment for this session? So at this time, it's best for us to do a straight up proxy session. No, so that's where I just sort of delve into the group field and collect the information from the field. I'm the proxy for the group. So we don't need that. It's best to do a seat of transformation where we focus on one person who is the voice of the group. Okay, so that's not needed. So we need to do kind of a hybrid where I open it up to the participants to voice their issues and intentions to frame the session as we begin today. Yes, okay. And so before we do that, there's anything that we need to do in preparation? No, okay. So I'm just gonna open it up to you guys. So what's up for you? What do you want to work on today? Any issues that you're facing or any intentions? Any goals that you're working towards you'd like some support on? So just feel free. You can raise your hand, or you can put it into the chat here. What's up? So Tabitha, yes.
Thank you for doing this session again this month.
You're welcome.
You mentioned ancestors, and what came to me was my blood mother died quite young, and my adoptive mother died only a couple of years older than me now. And I feel like I'm just starting, and I'm in my early 50s. So it's about, and I'm also read that our soul's blueprint, like for our being our best selves, is possible at any age. So I'd like, yeah, just that really, to be fully alive, even though I'm 51.
Be fully alive. Yes. Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you. That's a great intention, especially this time of year when the ancestors and the dead are so present. So great. Thank you. Good. Anybody else have anything you want to add in the mix here? Just looking here. You can, oh, Aria, great, thank you, yes.
Hi, thank you. And thank you, as Tabitha said, for having these sessions. Ancestor is part of the reason I jumped on this today. And I feel like I might be turning into my mother in bad ways. And I also feel like I'm just getting started too. So I have that. Also, I'm 65, and I would like to be unlike my mother in a lot of ways. I mean, I've already accepted the good ways that I'm like her. So now I'm starting to notice the bad ways. And also, the person who I proxied in wanted me to mention nightmares if we had a chance.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for that input. Okay. Nightmares. Great. Okay, good. All right. So let's see. Anybody else? Yeah, Adriana.
Hi, Liz, how are you? Thank you for the sessions. You know, it's my first time, and luckily Tabata told me about this group, so I really appreciate it. And well, what I want it's you know, to achieve my goals in respect to work and earning an income that it's you know, suitable for me to, you know, to cover my needs and also to live comfortable.
Okay. And what are your work goals?
Well, you know, I've recently finished resonance repatterning last year, and I was doing the tutoring with Suzanne. We just finished doing it, and you know, I would really like to be doing more resonance repatterning. However, there's another possibility of another work that came up, and if that it's at the moment, it's something that it's suitable for me, you know, for the time being, while I'll develop more my, you know, my resonance repatterning. I will say in the area of technology to get more, to get to be more. You know, to get people to know me, let's put it this way. So because I'm just starting, however, I get people, but not as many. And so I'm considering to take this other work. However, I am a translator and interpreter, you know, that's what I do. But yeah, so more or less this is what I want.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And congratulations on building your resonance repatterning practice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love it. It's fantastic. And thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
There are several elements in the chat.
What's that, Jean?
There are several requests in the chat.
Yeah, yes. Okay, great. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. So I'm just going to look here. Let's see. There's more information we need. We don't. Okay. So let me just mute. I'm just going to look in the chat here. Here we go. So, clearing clutter, creating a warm, vibrant, welcoming haven of a home. I'm laughing because I was looking at my house today, and I'm usually really good with keeping it pretty tidy, but the last few weeks I've been really busy, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta really do some clutter clearing. So, okay, I can totally relate. Wonderful. Good. Thank you, Jean, for that one. Okay, open for intimate relationships. Nice. Yugesh. And heal the dysfunctional relationship patterns from the ancestors. All right. So yeah. So open to intimate relationships. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Morning star, loving and honoring my body. Yes, being fully alive. Like that. Very good. So one of the things I really love about doing group sessions is like the clutter wasn't like top of my mind. And yet when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's me. I'd love to work on that. And then it being fully alive, it's like, I wouldn't have framed it that way, but yes, that's what I want. And so it's really beautiful how we're all drawn into the session through this principle of sympathetic resonance, that we each have a piece of the pattern to contribute for the group's transformation. And there's something that each of us has to receive from the group, and something that we have to contribute to the group that's unique. And so when we come together to do this healing in groups, there's a fullness that emerges that's quite beautiful. So I that's why I love doing these group sessions. Yes, so let's see. So Laurie says she's also clearing clutter and create a space for people to sit in an art studio. Oh, I like that. I love that theme of community and creativity, a place for people to gather, to sit. The art studio, the creativity. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going down here. So Cynthia says, just to simply be grateful for this life without attachment and grief. Turning 70 soon, and a lot's coming up around that. Yeah. So, it's interesting. We've got, Tabitha started with, I feel like, I'm 50, it's time. And then, and then, oh, I'm 65, it's time. It's like, oh, I'm 70, it's time. It's always time, and it's never too late. Yeah. So wonderful. That's I find that very inspiring. And then, so Gebby says, a dream house in the forest, and hope my ancestors can help me. Yeah. So yeah, calling on the support and help of the ancestors. And how to deal with a friend in a coma. That transition, grief, knowing, how to be present without taking it on. There might be boundaries in there. Yeah, how to go through losses with trust. Right, very important. That's part of this life, is filled with transition, and with each transition comes a sense of loss, even if it's a transition that we want. Yeah, so Gabby says, yeah, an NGO is working there with people and plant medicines and sharing the plant medicine with others. That's beautiful. Okay. So as you can see, we all have our own unique experience and our own unique intentions. And yet, when we come together in a group, it's possible to identify what's the underlying pattern that we can shift, that we have in common, that will help each of us in our own unique lives. So we're working on the individual level. We're also working on the group level. We're also working on the ancestral family patterns level. We're working on the societal level. We're working on the mass consciousness level. We're working on the cosmic level and the galactic level, because as above, so below, when we shift to a higher state, we shift the whole hologram of creation. And I find that very exciting. So let's see what we need here.
Can you repeat that? I'd like to write that down.
I don't think I can. I think I get that off of the recording. And
I'll watch the recording.
Can you send it to me? Because, okay, that's a good one. Thanks. I'm in the flow here. Okay, so let's take a little pause again. Creating space for ourselves to be present, creating space for whatever information or transformation is ready to emerge. Okay, so what do we need to do with all of this information that everybody has put into the field here, is put onto our buffet table of transformation? So at this time, it's best for us to focus in on a primary from what people have shared. No, okay. So it's best for us to move into the session through the resonance repatterning mandala. Yes, okay. And we need to start with something from orientation, problems into opportunities, an intention for a new possibility. There's a specific repatterning we need to start with. Yes, okay. So let's see what we need here in terms of a repatterning. So there are lots of different repatternings, and you can think of a repatterning as a specific inquiry around a specific topic. And one of the things I love about this process is the specificity and the focus that it brings. So let's see how specific and focused we need to be here. So the repatterning that's best for us at this time is something from A, B, C, D. There's something from E, something from F. Okay, so we're going to be working with a relationship repatterning, and Yogesh had mentioned about more intimacy and opening to intimacy in relationship. And a lot of our patterns, a lot of whether they're coherent patterns or non-coherent patterns, they become apparent to us in relationship. Like if you were a monk sitting in a cave and meditating, that's one pathway. But you probably wouldn't have all your buttons pushed the way that you would if you're out in the world, right? It's in relationship that that we become wounded. It's in relationship that we become healed. And that's another reason why I love doing these group sessions, because it does bring forth relationship and community. Humans we're social creatures. We need relationship. So let's see what we need here in terms of a relationship repatterning. And it's something from number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, so let's see here. This is principles of relationship. And this comes under the principle of interdependence. So it's the communicating needs repatterning that we're going to do. And is there anything we need to hear from the introduction here? Yes, okay. So it says that when we have entrainment, when we're on the same page energetically with another person, another way to think of entrainment is co-regulation. So when we're both sort of coherent in our nervous system and present and grounded. So when we have entrainment and resonance with another person, then our only desire is to maintain that feeling of love and happiness at any cost. And when conflict does occur, there's an inherent desire to return to that natural state of harmony. But without tools or support, it can be difficult to get back to that harmony, to reestablish that entrainment and resonance. And so we either settle for kind of maintaining a surface harmony, or we move into kind of like submission, people pleasing. We might suppress our needs, like, oh, that wasn't that important to me. I just, anything to keep the peace. Or we might quarrel and fight to get our needs met at the risk of destroying the relationship. So let's see, there's something from here. So in any close relationship, we have to confront things that come up that upset us. And oftentimes the other person's a mirror, but we project onto them. And what triggers our upset and pain in the present is often a reflection of a life need from our past that wasn't met, that we then project onto the present situation. So this repatterning helps us to face the fact that we have needs, to help us to get in touch with our needs, to express those needs. And if you think of it, that's the basis of intimacy is, do you feel safe enough to allow that level of intimacy in whatever relationship you're in, where you can express your needs without expecting the other person to fix it for you, right? Because there's a degree of responsibility that comes with it as well. It's like, I have this need, and am I being realistic? Am I expecting the other person, like, am I getting codependent with them, wanting them to rescue me? Or am I just acknowledging my need and then being realistic about whether, is this the person that can meet the need? Can I meet this need on my own? Is this a deal breaker for the relationship? Having that clarity about the situation and what's possible and what is realistic and what's healthy can go a long way in establishing intimacy. So let's see what we need here. Take a little pause here as we're going to move into the next phase of this session. So I'm just going to check through and see what aspects of this repatterning we need, given all of the intentions people have put out. And if you didn't get a chance to voice your intention, or you didn't put it in the chat, or you're just joining this recording, you can, think about your intention. You can jot it down. You sort of overlay your intention onto the session. That's fine. So there's something from here. There's something from here. There's something from here. Yeah, so there's a feeling that we need to identify. And oftentimes, tied up with our need is a feeling. And so getting in touch with our needs and our feelings is really important. And most of us haven't really been raised in a manner that really allows for that. So let's see what we need here. So there's a feeling. Just writing it down here. So the feeling we need to identify is something from the list, and it's 1 through 5. It's number 1. It's number 2. It's number 3. So there's some sadness there. And you can kind of hear that sadness in, the longing for intimacy, in, certainly going through losses with trust, the degree of sadness that comes up around that. The passage of time, is it too late? It's not too late. What regrets or sadness or disappointments might we have to let go of in order to really make the most of the time that we have? So let's check this. So repeat after me. Say, I am sad. And that's resonating. So we're resonating with that. And now what I want you to do is just close your eyes and check in with your body and just notice or ask your body, where are you holding the sadness in your body? And you can write it into the chat. Where are you holding the sadness in your body? So Geb 818 says, in my heart. Yeah, Yugesh, heart and chest area. Yeah. Upper back and throat. Solar plexus. Sharon says throat and chest. Sherwood says throat and lower brain. Yeah. Aria says in my calves and in my arms. Lori says heart and throat. Adriana says in the left foot. Yeah. And so you could feel the presence of the sadness in your body. And just sit with that and just notice it. We don't need to get rid of it. It's just enough to connect with it and feel it, to allow yourself to feel it. And as you feel it, see if you can stay connected to your breath. The Morning Star says in her stomach and lungs. So just breathe, allow yourself to breathe as you feel that sadness. And just notice as you bring your attention into the sadness, what happens. As you notice the body sensations associated with the sadness, just notice what happens as you keep your attention there. And what did you notice? You can put it in the chat. So Cynthia says it intensified. Yeah, Laurie says feels more open and lighter. There was a tightness and a letting go, Morningstar said. Yeah. Yeah, so as you bring your attention into the feeling, your experience of that feeling changes in some way. And it might intensify, and as you keep your attention there, you may notice it gets even stronger and stronger until finally there's a letting go within. There's more of an expansion that allows you to hold that intensity, to increase your capacity to hold the feeling. And when we have increased capacity in our body to hold these uncomfortable feelings, it's a lot easier to recover if we get triggered, or it's a lot easier to maintain our equilibrium if we're triggered in relationship. Okay. Good. So I'm just going to check. We need to continue on feeling that. Yeah. So as we go through, see if you can just keep your attention there and just keep noticing what happens in your body with the sadness. You might notice the sadness moves or dissipates. So just notice what happens, and whatever happens, just allow it. There's no right way or wrong way. It's just simply allowing yourself to feel what's there in your body. So I'm just going to check here. There's something from here, something from here, something from here, something from here. So this is looking at the negative response to having needs, communicating needs, and having our needs met. And, I've worked with people whose intention is like, I don't want to have any needs, because if I don't have any needs, I won't get disappointed and I won't have to ask anybody for help. And it's like, well, that's not really realistic. And it's interesting. I worked with one woman who started, when we started working with each other, her intention was not to have any needs. And then as she worked with me, she realized, okay, needs aren't necessarily a bad thing. And if I suppress my needs, they kind of leak out sideways and create upsets or problems because I don't have awareness. And then she kind of moved through that phase to being able to actually getting in touch with her needs and communicating them in an appropriate way. So it was interesting to see her progression around needs. So let's see what we need here. So it's something here from the list. It's 1 through 5, 6 through 10. It's number 6, 7, 8. So what came up is I avoid saying what I need. And asking the other person what they need. So that's what's needed. Yes. Okay. So let's check this. So say, I avoid saying what I need. And asking the other person what they need. And that's resonating. And then there's another aspect to this. Let's see here. Okay, so there's an avoidance of talking about needs. And then the next one is, say, I avoid saying what I need. And instead, I ask the other person what they want. And we're resonating with that. And so those two, they're similar, but they're also different. So the first one, I avoid saying what I need and asking the other person what they need. There's like an avoidance of needs. Like, I'm not telling you what I need. And truthfully, I really don't want to know what you need because it's all messy. The second one, I avoid saying what I need. And instead, I ask the other person what they want. Notice it's not, I don't ask them what they need. I ask them what they want. And what that is, it's a pattern of avoidance, deflection, and denial. And it's an aspect of codependence where it's a lot easier to focus on the other person and what they want rather than get in touch with what I need and actually put it out there. Where do you want to go to dinner? Oh, I don't know. Where do you want to go? You know, that's a little tiny, kind of inconsequential. And then you can extrapolate that scenario into other more important areas of your life and your relationships. Okay, so let's see. There's something, something from here. There's something from here. Okay. So there's something from here, something from here, there's something from here. So this is the coherent pattern that we need in the present around this. And it's something here from number 1, number 2. And what came up is, I know what I need in any situation. And just take a little pause and just like really let that sink in. And imagine the clarity you would have in your life when you know what you need in any situation. That is a degree of clarity and inner knowing that would really be a game changer, I think. So let's check this. Say, I know what I need in any situation. Yeah, and that's not resonating. We're not resonating with that right now. So there's something from here, something from here. So this next one is about receptivity. So a lot of times we don't really feel like it's that important to express our needs because there's a sort of underlying, well, it's not going to make any difference. They're not going to be met anyway. So why bother even open up that conversation? So this next section is about resonating with receptivity, with being able to receive from the other person. And if you think about it, that's true intimacy. That receptivity to the other person, having them be receptive to you, and that degree of trust that you can work it out. So let's see what's needed here. There's something from here. Yes. Okay. So I am receptive to receiving what I need from others. Quite simple. So let's check that. Say, I am receptive to receiving what I need from others. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. That's off. I'm just going to check here. There's anything we need to do with the sadness at this time? No. Okay. So still being present to the sadness. So there's something more from here. There's something from here. Yeah. Okay. So then there's another aspect of this receptivity, which is being receptive to actually giving to the other person the very thing that you want. So I want understanding. I want acceptance. I want inclusion. I want to feel welcomed. Am I resonating with receiving that? And am I resonating with actually giving that to the other person? So let's see what we're going to do here. So let's check this. We need to be specific about what this actually is, the need. We don't. Okay. So say I give to the other person the very thing that I want. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. So, it's kind of like, being the change you want to see in the world. I want respect. I want harmony. I want peace. Can I give that to other people? Can I give it to myself? That's the next step. I give to myself. So we don't move into codependence. And when we're able to give that to ourselves, it also kind of creates like a feedback loop in terms of feeding the receptivity. If I can give this to myself, I'm probably more able to receive it from other people too. If I can give it to myself, I can give it to other people. So let's check this. So say I give to myself that which I want. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. So I'm just going to check here. There's something we need to do as a modality. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to do a modality to make an input of energy into the field to see what we need here. So the modality that we need at this time is something from spiral up, inner cultivation. It's from family systems 1, family systems 2. Okay, so kind of circling back on the theme of ancestors, working with the family system. So the modality that we need is something from A through E. It's F. It's G, H. It's number 1. Number 2. So this is about taking the life energy from our ancestors. Okay. So if you think about the right side of the body is the masculine side, the left is the feminine. So the right side of the body is our father's energy, the masculine pole with a positive charge. The left side is the mother's energy, the feminine pole with a negative charge. And so in this modality, we're going to take the father's and the mother's energy and integrate them to create unity in our being. So what I want you to do is close your eyes, center within yourself, connect with your breath, and imagine that you're split in half. On the right side, feel and imagine your father. And behind him, imagine his parents. Behind them, imagine his grandparents. And even further, imagine your father's great-grandparents. And this is for your biological father. And you can open up to receive the vital force that flows toward you through all of your ancestors on your father's side. And imagine and feel how this life force flows through the generations and breaks through to you. Observe and feel how all of these ancestors on your father's side have taken this life force and passed it on through the generations. And now this life force reaches you and it fuses itself in the right side of your body. And now on the left side, feel and imagine your mother, your biological mother. And behind her are her parents. And behind them are your mother's grandparents. And even further, her great-grandparents. And you can open up to the vital life force that flows toward you through all of your ancestors on your mother's side. And imagine and feel how this life force flows down through each generation on your mother's side, and it breaks through to you. And observe and feel how all of these ancestors have taken life force and have passed it on. Now this life force from your mother's side reaches you and fuses itself into the left side of your body. Now you can perceive how these two streams, your father's life force and your mother's life force, merge within you and create unity. Feel how this force and warmth accumulates within you and seeks to keep flowing. Now you can allow the life force to flow. It flows to your offspring, your children and their children. And if you don't have any children, it flows through you into your good works, into your projects, into your creations. It flows through you into your work to support life. Observe and feel how you are a part of this flow in life. You may feel your heart expand with gratitude and respect allow yourself to feel this flow and how it nurtures every cell in your being. And breathe in and breathe out. And with each breath, you become more and more present as you bring your attention back into the here and now. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And this is complete. Yes. Good. Good. So we'll just take a little pause. Let that integrate. And just notice what it feels like in your body. Notice any places you might feel any warmth, any flow. You might feel maybe some vibration, some buzzing, some energy. Maybe you notice the muscles in your back quivering, or some warmth in your thighs. Just notice what it feels like in your body. Good. And now just bring your attention down into your feet, just letting the energy flow downward, grounding it. And I'm just going to check at this time. We need to check each and every one of these statements. We don't, okay? So there's one statement that's best to check as proxy for all the others. Yes. And it matters which one. It does, okay? So it's the first one. Yeah, so we're going to go back to that, that statement, I am sad. And so repeat after me, say, I am sad. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. And just notice in your body, can you feel that sadness? And it's okay if you do. And you may notice that maybe it feels different. Or maybe notice it feels more expansive. You can just put in the chat what you notice. Sure, it says it felt like defeat and now it feels like victory. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's, you know, it's so interesting to me in these sessions how they have this natural flow that seems to take us exactly where we need to go. And sometimes at the end, it like all becomes clear, like you see the connections. You know, we did this, this modality around receiving the energy from our ancestors. And we started with this idea of, you know, I want to be more alive. I want to be more present in life. And one of the ways to do that is to receive the life force that comes to us through our ancestral line, all the way down through our parents to us, and then we pass it on. So it just seems like we really came full circle here. So yeah, achieving work goals, one of the ways to do that is to receive the life energy and pass it on through our work. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to check. There's anything more that's needed from the session? No, the session is complete. Great. It's so Morningstar says, I feel completely at peace with all of my relations and ancestors, my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and extended family. Beautiful. Tabitha says she feels peaceful, appreciative, and optimistic. Nice. Sharon says the breathing has changed, it's slowed and become expansive, lessened the pain. So there's still some tightness there. Okay, yeah, and you notice, so you can feel them both, the expansiveness and the tightness. And that's part about being fully present and increasing capacity to feel and be present and have needs, is to feel the polarities. There's expansion and there's tightness, and they both coexist. Great. All right, so let's see. Great. So Ann says she could see the double helix. See my mom passing and all of her relatives, a strong, free feeling. Beautiful, beautiful. So great. I'm just going to open up the lines if you have any questions or comments, anything to share. Also want to tell you, so I do these on the first Monday of the month on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get notified when I put the recordings up. If you want to be on the calls live, you can get on my email list, because I send out reminders and I send out the Zoom link and all that through email. You can go to liztobin.com and go to events for the Gateway to Grace and get on the email list. And so great. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful. Let's see here. So any questions or comments? My screen just like, here we go.
Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Well, thank you very much for the profound healing.
You're welcome. And I hope you find that beautiful place in the forest, that home. Wonderful.
Thank you, Liz. Happy Halloween. I can't wait to see a picture of you. I know you're going to do a great costume. you and your hubby.
I love costumes. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
I
you,
have a
honey.
question.
Yes.
My question is, I feel much better, but why? My ancestors were a ragged lot of madness and loss and all kinds of things. Why do I feel better?
That's a good question. So what you know of your ancestors, they were a ragged lot. There was a lot of madness, seemingly not a good line. And yet, one thing they did have was the life energy that they passed on to each generation, that they passed on to you. And when you're able to really accept your ancestors,
Oh,
the good and the bad,
okay.
then you're taking the full force of the life energy. You're receiving it. It's kind of like breathing. It's like you don't get to choose which air you're going to breathe and which air you're not. If you hold your breath, life isn't going to flow, right? So we have to breathe the air, whatever the quality of it is, just like we have to receive the life force from our ancestors, whatever the quality of it is.
Thank you so much. That makes so much sense.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And, you know, the other thing is what you know of them is one piece of it. There's a whole other spectrum that you don't know about them. And also, we don't know why people are the way that they are. There's this sense of this idea of like universal justice and karma. And it may have been that they were playing these archetypal roles that we perceive here from our perspective as being not good, bad, evil, insane, sick, dysfunctional. But there may have been a higher purpose to
Yes,
why they incarnated into those roles. There's always a part of them that is, pure, the higher self aspect.
I had been resisting them all this time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking that. That's a great question.
I never identified anything along these lines because my parents were separated when I was 1 year old. So I never experienced any type of unity of them. But I did feel like once I brought in my mother's energy, then it like complemented my father's energy. I felt both of them expand. And then it felt like two wings, like butterfly wings, just to add a little romantic image.
That's great. That's great. Wonderful. Yeah. Yes, Henny.
Oh, question to Sherwood. Did you make painting in front of you? I see a painting. Sherwood.
Oh, the painting.
Yeah, of she made it by herself. That's my question.
Ah,
The artist is named Crystal Eyes.
Ah, beautiful.
crystal eyes. Nice.
Beautiful.
I have a couple pieces from her and they're amazing.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Friedrich, glad that you could join us when you did. Yeah, so next month, the US in my time zone is going to be back an hour. We're going to lose an hour. So it's still going to be at noon, but it's going to be at noon Eastern Standard Time instead of.
Yeah, then it's the same like here. Yeah, thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, so glad you could make it and you can catch the recording. Great.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next month. And I also work with people individually. If you feel like you want to explore that option, you can reach out to me at et@liztobin.com. So thanks, everybody. Have a great month. Bye. I'm going to stop the recording.